Today we will start with the lesson food production. So here in the previous chapter you have already studied about the types of food that we eat, and we have understood about the different types of food also. So here you will understand about the food production. So you will understand about the role of the farmers and different types of crops grown in different regions. And also you will learn about the different types of farmers, benefits, problems of the green revolutions, and reasons for the shortage of food. So first of all, here in the understanding skill you can see that name any 3 food items that you eat every day and the crops that are used to make them. So you have to find out 3 food items that you eat, and you have to find out the names of the crops that are used to make them. Like suppose you eat rice, so what type of crops will give you rice? You have to find it out. Now see, many crops grow in India, and different crops need different conditions to grow. Some will require lots of water, some will require very less water. Soil types are also different for the growth of the crops. And so the growth of the crops depends on soil and the climate of the region. Just now as I told that the crops will grow in different varieties of soil. The temperature requirement, the rainfall requirement is different for each and every crop. So that is why in India, region wise, there are differences in the crops. So now the heading is who produces the food we eat. Now who will produce the food that we eat? The farmers. The farmers across the country produce the food that we eat, and they grow a lot of crops, a variety of crops. So there are 2 types of crops. One is food crop and one set of crop is the cash crop. Now food crops are those like the crops that we eat, like rice, wheat, maize, different others, pulses. So many things are used for our consumption, for our eating. And the cash crops are those like tea, coffee, cotton, jute. So they are sold in the market for the profit or for earning money. They are supplied to the factories. So here you have seen that there are 2 types of crops, food crops and cash crops. Food crops we eat, and cash crops we sold in the market. We sell in the market for getting money. Now you can see different crops for different regions. So as I already told you before that in the different region different crops will grow. Different crops are grown in different parts of the country. In each and every part of our country there are different crops, because the soil is different, the climate is different, and each of the crop has its own soil adaptability and the climate that it needs. So this often influences the kind of food we eat. Suppose we eat rice here in Assam, so lots of rice is grown here because the weather and the temperature, the climate, the soil is all suitable for the growth of rice here. And also is produced in Bengal. So Bengalis prefer to eat rice and not chapatis, because rice is mostly the food crop that is grown in Bengal and Assam. So in order to have a good harvest, farmers need good quality seeds also. Fertile soil, adequate water, protection from pesticides. So you can see just now what were we discussing, that whatever crops are grown in a particular place, the people are prone to eat that. So rice, if they are taking, so that means the region is filled with lot of rice. Rice can easily grow in this region. So that is why we are dependent on rice. Our staple food is rice. So why? Because it grows here. So this is the thing, because of the soil and climate. And also you can see the crops need to grow in a particular type of fertile soil. They need water, they need protection from the pesticides, and for the growth of the good crops the farmers need good quality seeds. Now there are 2 types of crops, Rabi crop and Kharif crop. Now what are these Rabi crops? Rabi crops will grow from October to March, from the beginning of winter to the beginning of the spring, like wheat, barley, chickpea, mustard. All these things are grown in the winter season. And the Kharif crop that will grow from June to October, so they are from the beginning of monsoon to the beginning of the winter. And as you all know, now the cultivation of rice is taking place in and around our town. In the villages, people are sowing the seedlings of rice. Then corn, groundnut and pulses, they all grow in the Monsoon seasons. So there are two main cropping seasons in India, the Kharif crops and the Rabi crop, monsoon season and the winter season to the spring. So these are the examples. You can see a cornfield and a mustard field. And there are a third sort of cropping season, a very short cropping season for seasonal vegetables. So that season is called as Zaid season. The season lasts between Rabi and the Kharif crop season from March to June. See, this is from the June to October and this is from October to March. But what will happen from March to June? The seasonal vegetables are grown and that seasonal vegetables growing time is called as Zaid season. So we have Rabi crops, we have Kharif crops, we have Rabi crops, we have Zaid seasons growing the vegetables. Next, you can see the importance of irrigation. When you supply water to the fields, that is called as irrigation. Not the watering in the garden, but when you supply lots amounts of water in the field, that is irrigation. So farmers will need a regular supply of water or irrigation for good crop production. If there should be a good crop production, if the farmer needs to grow a lot of crops, then he has to irrigate the field. That means supply water to the field. In the earlier times, farmers were completely dependent on the rainfall. But slowly as the time passed, now this water is stored. And then later on, they started digging canals to carry the water to the field. They stored rainwater. Later on, they started digging canals and then carried the water to the fields. So from where will they carry? From the rivers and the streams nearby. Now latest in the technologies are there by which irrigation is totally developed and availability of the water to the crops has increased now. So when we'll go into the other chapters, you can easily understand about irrigation techniques. Now it has been developed. Modern techniques of irrigation facilities are given in the field for the growth of the crops. So irrigation has a very well importance for the growth of the crops because plants need water to grow. Next is different types of farmers. So see, farmers are not only one type, there are different types. Different kinds of farmers are here. So what are the different kinds? Let us see that. So number one is a subsistence farmer. Subsistence farmer is the commonly found farmers in India. Subsistence farming means self-sufficient farming. So here the farmer has a small plot of land and they grow the food crops. Small food crops are grown here in small amounts and primarily they grow the food crops to feed their own families. So here in Mangaldev also many of you might have some place to cultivate, some field to cultivate the crops for feeding your own family, and whatever is left that can be sold in the market. So this is the most commonly found farmers in India which are self-sufficient farming. Now the remaining grain, if after feeding the family, keeping it for the family, if something is remaining, the remaining is sold in the market. So this system is labor intensive as most of the work is done by the farmer and his family members themselves without use of any modern machines. So here we don't use any modern machine. We do it ourselves. People do it themselves. Their family members, their relatives do it themselves. So this is labor intensive. People are involved in doing the work. No machineries are involved in cultivating the crops in the subsistence farming process. So this is a very good process to cultivate your own crops. They face problems also because the small size of the farms, so limited amount of crop can be grown at one time. Farmers who are not so rich, they cannot afford to buy the machines like tractors, threshers and harvesters. Large-scale irrigation techniques also cannot be applied to the small farms. Farmers are also poor, they cannot afford them. So if the crop fails for one season, there is no support or backup for the farmers, and so there is a lot of problems that is faced by the subsistence farmers. Because they are self-sufficient, they do it themselves. And they are poor, so they cannot buy the modern machines or the irrigation systems. So this was the subsistence farmers, they do it themselves. And then comes the commercial farmers who produce the crops on large scale and sell it in the market for their profit. For getting money, they sell the crops in the market. So they produce in large amount. So they produce in large quantities, and there are modern machineries and fertilizers like cotton and groundnuts. They are cultivated in large amount and they are brought to the factories and they are sold to the market for getting textiles and oils. So these are commercial farmers. They get the proper seeds, they get the machineries, they use large irrigation facilities, they have the fertilizers. So these are commercial. They produce on large scale. Next is the organic farmers who use only natural, local seeds, manure, compost fertilizers, traditional cropping techniques like mixed cropping and crop rotation to maintain the fertility of the soil. So who are the organic farmers? Those who don't use any synthetic or any chemical fertilizers in their crops. They use the local common seeds, they use their compost, that means cow dung, and vegetable waste for their fertilizers. Traditional cropping techniques are done like mixed cropping and crop rotation. So what is this mixed cropping? So in a field, if you can cultivate, if the farmer can cultivate at a time 2 or 3 crops in the same field, that is mixed cropping. In one row, suppose they will cultivate rice, and in the other row they can cultivate some pulses, like this way. This is called a mixed cropping. And crop rotation is alternately whenever the rice is suppose taken out, harvested from the soil, and then another set of crop can be grown in the same field. Rotation wise, after harvesting of one crop, another crop can be grown, so that can increase the fertility of the soil. So organic farmers use the local seeds which are very hardy and do not fall prey to the insects or pests easily. So insects will not attack and they need very less water to grow. So the organic farmers produce healthy food because they don't use any chemicals. So even if organic farming has come up as a new trend, but in most part of the country, subsistence farmers are there. They are following their own way to cultivate the crops. Subsistence farmers are always there. So next is the large farmers. The rich farmers own large tracts of land, and this large tracts of land is known as plantations, like tea, coffee, rubber. They are cultivated in plantations. So there are workers to do the actual farming. There are lots of investment, and there are machineries, there are fertilizers, irrigation techniques are much higher, and a large scale production of crop is there, like tea, coffee and rubber. There are large plantations in Assam, coffee in Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, rubber plantations in Maharashtra. So many plantations means large tracts of land are used for growing of these crops, and they are sold in the market, and high profit is earned by selling in the market. They are large farmers. So next we come to the dairy farmers. Who are the dairy farmers? They produce the dairy products from the milk, that is milk and milk products. They rear the cattle. They keep them at home, their cow, buffaloes, goat, so that they can produce milk and the milk products like ghee, butter, curd and cheese. So the dairy farmers, they either they can grow or they can buy the food for their animals. Whatever animals they are keeping, they can grow at home their food, or they can buy it from the market. Now with the proper food and water, the dairy productions can be doubled. Now under Operation Flood, which was in 1970s, foreign high yielding varieties of cows are brought, or cattle as you can see here, are brought to India. And slowly the cooperative dairies and the better technology has developed, and dairy farming is one of the fastest growing and most profitable sectors of the economy of our country, because milk and milk products are of very high value. So this was dairy farmers, and then is the cooperative farmers. Cooperative farming is relatively new system in India. So this is very new system, and most farmers have small tracts of land. So a lot of machinery is not used. Single farmer is not able to afford the cost of fertilizers, machinery and irrigation. So in cooperative farming, what is happening? The farmers of a region bring together their lands. In a region, they'll bring together their lands, and in a much larger field, modern farming techniques can be used. So maximum effect will be given, and this is very beneficial because the total cost is less. the yield means production is also greater. So if the the farmers get together in a particular region, each having a small part of the land, and they can join together to make it into a large land, so this will be also profitable, because each farmer will share their own land, and so that will be, because of the collective cost will be there, so it is beneficial because each one can contribute, and that will be very less, and production will be much greater. So this is the cooperative farming. So here we have studied about the different farmers, that is subsistence farmers, commercial farmers, organic farmers, large farmers, dairy farmers, and cooperative farmers. So for today we'll do up to this much, and in the next class we'll continue with the rest of the chapter.